Here are some cars that look slow but are actually fast, starting off with this unassuming Kia. If someone saw this thing on the road, they'd probably just chalk it up as a new model and go on about their day. But you and I are the exception because we know that this thing is actually fast. Quite fast. It's got 365 horsepower from a V6 and can reach 167 miles an hour very easily, which makes me think that it was electronically limited to that speed. Now, you may argue that the Stinger doesn't really look slow, especially if you take its name into account.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Speaking of bees, let's be sensible and go for a proper sleeper next. The Fiat Topolino. What if I told you that these cars are similar to each other? Well, you'd think I'm crazy, but I'm actually lying. They're not similar to each other, because only one of them has over 500 horsepower. Take a guess which one. The Ferrari, of course, is the one I'm referring to here, with a V8 engine pushing over 500 horsepower.
Here's Johnny!
The R63 AMG is one of the few cars that looks super slow. I mean, it's an estate. Who on God's green earth would consider this fast? And to be honest, it really wasn't fast per se. I mean, it only reached a 250 km per hour top speed. The thing is, it had a 6.2 litre V8 engine with over 500 horsepower and unbelievable amounts of torque. I can imagine a grandma driving this and absolutely smoking some poor guy who had no idea. The reputation that Mercedes and AMG have built makes it so difficult for anyone to consider any car by them as slow, but the reality is that this looks very, very slow. Sticking with cars that really don't look very fast, let's go with this, the Ford Flex. For this one, I'll let Instagram Automotive give you a few reasons why you should get one.
I got you, fam!
The car you see is actually owned by him, but surprisingly, he isn't being biased. Every Flex comes with a V6 engine, but the Limited has a twin-turbo V6 with 365 horsepower. Who would think that this is fast? Honestly, it's boxy as f and just cannot be taken seriously as a performance vehicle. But oh boy, it's no joke. Here's a Flex beating a Viper, and here's a Flex gapping a Supra. I can already sense the dislikes flooding in by the Super kids. Anyways, let's head to the UK, land of fish and chips, Big Ben, and people who cannot live without tea and biscuits apparently.
My love, I'm being serious,
The UK was kinda overshadowed by other countries when it came to cars, and you don't really hear about a lot of sleepers. But I'd argue that one of the first proper sleeper cars that was available to the public was made in the UK. I'm talking about the Sierra Cosworth, but that isn't the car I want to discuss here. The Lotus Carlton, also known as the Lotus Omega. Now this is special. In actuality, they started life as a Vauxhall Carlton or Opel Omega, but GM, who owned Vauxhall and Opel, decided that they wanted them to be less boring, and so they enlisted the help of Lotus. And oh boy, did Lotus cook. They did a lot to the car, and also added 2 turbos because power! This gave the car 377 brake horsepower and ensured 0 to 60 took just over 5 seconds with an official top speed of 174 miles or 280 kilometers an hour. Official because a lot of people managed over 180 miles or 290 kilometers an hour. The performance here was so insane that the government of the UK wanted to ban it. Wait, look, listen, let me tell you something. These two cars are similar, yes, they're from the same group. They're also family SUVs, but just trust me, these two are sleeper cars. And no, I don't mean sleeper cars where you can sleep at the back, no. I mean they're proper sleepers. Both of them have 12-cylinder engines. Yeah, those family cars have got 12-cylinder engines. The Q7 has a V12 diesel with 500 horsepower and 1000 Newton meters or 737 pound-feet of torque. I mean, clearly a V12 wasn't crazy enough, so might as well make it a diesel, right? Oh, and don't forget, it's got 2 turbos. To this day, I cannot figure out why they decided to make it a diesel, genuinely. So instead, let's look at the W12 Touareg. I could also put the Phaeton here, which allowed you to pick between the following engine choices: a V6, another V6, a V8, a V10, and a W12. So from these, the logical choice would be to take the W12 and slap it in a family SUV to flex on those who didn't have a 12-cylinder SUV in their lineup already. No, but seriously, it was literally just to flex brand image. Same top speed as the Q7, limited to 155 miles an hour, but just slightly less horsepower at 450 and a slightly slower 0 to 60. Still bonkers though. Renault. Renault is known for a lot of things, making quirky cars, making terrible Formula 1 engines in recent years, but they're also known for making one amazing little car, the Clio. I'm not talking about your grocery getter, no. I'm talking about the V6 Clio. When you've made a hot hatch, the logical decision would be to up the power on the engine, which they did. Yes, that silence is loud and there's a good reason for it. The engine, yeah, it was moved to the back. Rear mid-engined, hatchback, hot hatchback.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Sleeper cars are ones that look slow but are fast. This one had 252 horsepower, which actually made it the fastest hatchback in the entire world at the time. So definitely a sleeper when it was around. But still, it's just so hard to get over the fact that they made a rear mid-engined V6 hot hatch. For the next car, we have to fly over to Australia and put some shrimps on the barbie, mate. I am so sorry to my Australian viewers, genuinely. This is a very special entry because a lot of people don't know about this car. Holden was, because it shut down in 2020, an Australian car manufacturer owned by GM. The Ute was a coupe utility, so a coupe mixed with a pickup truck, which is unlike anything you can find on the market, to be honest. When someone would look at this, they'd literally be confused as hell and wouldn't even get the chance to assume that it's fast. But oh boy, it's packing. Packing power. What's wrong with you, man?
Why are you
The Ute SSV had a 6-liter V8 that pushed 362 horsepower, which is not bad at all. I mean, what other thing are you gonna find similar to it? It's quite a shame that they're no longer around. And to finish off the video, the 7 Series. Yeah, I know, you're asking how the f is this a sleeper? I mean, yeah, you can sleep in it, yes. But trust me, it's a sleeper. That is because under the hood of this car that you're seeing right now is a 6-liter V12 engine that made over 600 horsepower. When this thing was on sale back in 2017-2018, I'm talking about the G11 model pre-LCI, it was the fastest launching BMW on sale. That is nuts, actually, and I cannot help but want one. Now, question of the day. If you had to pick between an S65 V12 AMG or this, which one would you take? Join the Discord, link is in my channel bio because I am probably the most forgetful person you will ever come across, and I'll probably forget to put a link here in this video. I need some almonds. Thanks for watching, bye bye.